Hi everyone! Today we are going to be exploring birds and their habitats, and we're doing this all thanks to Mount Rainier National Park and some awesome learning activities they have put up on their website. I'm ready, I hope you are too. Let's go ahead and get started. Here's a quick look at Mount Rainier National Park, where we're going to be studying biology. Biology means that we're looking for living organisms. So today we're really going to focus on a bird because there's so many. Before we get too far though, let's talk about our goals and our success criteria for this lesson. Goal number 1 is to create a habitat for a bird using materials that you have around you. We'll talk about habitats and what that means, so don't worry. You'll know you were successful if you created a bird nest, a house for a bird, that's woven together so that it doesn't fall apart. I'll show you how to do the weaving, so that way you can make sure that your nest stays nice for the birds to live in. Your second goal is to recognize different types of birds around you. You'll know you were successful if you completed the Mount Rainier Bingo in your backyard sheet. That way you can practice your birdwatching skills while practicing identifying different types of birds. Before we go too much further, we need to make sure that we know what a habitat is. So really simply, a habitat is the area in which an animal lives. So humans kind of have different habitats because we can live all over, we live in our homes or maybe in apartment buildings. Animals though have a more specific habitat. So if you think of a bird, you usually think of somewhere where there's lots of trees, somewhere where they can build their nest. That would be a bird's habitat. So that's what we're going to focus on today, is the bird nests and where they live. The first step in creating a bird habitat is collecting the materials that birds usually find to make their nests. Lots of times you see them use grass, small sticks, maybe some leaves, but be creative and use anything you find around your backyard or your home that a grown-up says it's okay to use. You have your bird nest materials ready to go. We are going to start our bird nest building. This can be a little bit tricky at first. You might even want to do this over a bowl or a plate. I'm going to show you with my hands kind of what it looks like. That way you get an idea of how this will look. This video I'm about to show you is my hands sped up. It's going really fast. So if it takes you a little more time than it takes me, don't worry. It's perfectly okay. So here are the materials I have. I have some grasses, I have some sticks and leaves, some paper towels, things that'll be easy for me to weave in and out. I'm going to move them all to the side right now so that I can show you the easiest way to start. There are two ways that you can start making a bird nest. You can start with using sticks on the bottom. You're going to want some thin, small sticks. And you'll have one so it's on the bottom and one so it's on top. The next one goes on top of the last one, and it keeps going so that there's always one on the bottom and one side that's on top. That's why that's part of weaving. It's going in and out, on top, on bottom, on top, on bottom. It makes a pattern. You can see it here. Top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. You would keep going with this, layering in sticks, adding paper towels and leaves until it's finished. This one is a little bit trickier, so I want to show you an easier way to do it if you have a hard time making your bird nest this way. In order to make the easier version of the bird nest, you're going to need one more material, and that's the size bowl that you want your bird nest to be. So whatever size bird nest, you need to find a bowl similar to that size. You're first going to put some grass down. You're just going to kind of make it go around the outside. Maybe you have something other than grass, maybe some bigger leaves or something. Just make sure it goes around the outside. And this is when the weaving gets really important. It might be hard to see with the way my hands are with the camera, but you're going to layer them so that one piece of the grass goes on top, on bottom, and you're going to keep doing it on top, on bottom. You can see that I'm looping it through. Right? So sometimes you might even have to take it out of the bowl to get it go on top, on bottom. Now you can see it's starting to make that circle just like an actual bird nest would be. I'm going to keep adding materials, layering it on top, on bottom, on top, on bottom, doing that weaving really well. The tighter that you weave it and the more you weave it, the easier it's going to be to take your bird nest out of the bowl when you're done. So you're going to keep going, adding lots and lots and lots of materials. The more materials you use, the bottom is going to start getting filled up. So don't worry if your bird nest doesn't have a bottom at first. Just keep adding and weaving all those things that you collected, just like I'm doing here, and you will end up with a bird nest that has a bottom and it goes all the way around the outside of the bowl. The hardest part of this one is getting it out of the bowl. So if you start to take it out and it starts falling apart, You can always try and weave some more things in and out, weave it even tighter. Or if you're just having a really hard time with this bird nest, you could even put a few little pieces of tape around your bird nest or a little bit of glue, even some mud. Birds usually use mud, which is just dirt and water mixed together. If you put that in there and then let it dry, that mud sticks to all of the leaves and paper towels, whatever you have in there, and it makes it almost like cement, like a really, really strong glue. That way, when you pull your bird nest out, nothing else will happen to it. Once your bird nest is complete, you can go ahead and put it somewhere where a bird might come to. So like I said, I'm out here where there's lots of trees. I actually put mine up in this tree. You can't really see it from here, but now I get to start doing bird watching. So here's a few tips about how to be a good bird watcher. First, you need to be quiet. Birds can get scared easily, so you're gonna need to sit quietly. You're also going to want to back up. So I'm not going to stay here while I do my bird watching. I'm too close to the bird nest, so my bird won't come to it if I stay here. The last thing is sometimes even binoculars can be helpful if you have some at home. That way you can stay further away and not scare the birds. As you bird watch, you're going to keep track of the birds you see on the Mount Rainier National Park Backyard Bird Bingo worksheet. You can look through all the different birds and see what you can find. Cross them off once you see them. For example, if I see number 7, a sitting bird, I would cross that off with a big X, so I know that I've finished that. For today, your goal is to just make that bird nest the best you can. Remember, we're also trying to understand the habitats of different birds, so think about where you put your bird nest. And then we are looking for all different types of birds in that backyard bingo, so make sure that you are keeping an eye out, either out your window if you're inside and it's a little rainy, or if you're outside playing. Make sure you're crossing them off and seeing how many different birds you can find. Have fun, I hope you enjoy, and I will see you next time with Miss Sims Outside.